All right, to find your ad sites, if you go to your Triple R training, you see right here where it says your free traffic sites. If you click on that, Rory has a list of all the ad sites that you can sign up for that are free. Some of them have changed their policies and they're no longer free. Some of them have changed the way that you can advertise on them. But I just tell my students to go in and just register with it. Like this one is only for Ocala, Florida. That's the only place your ads show up. Same thing with the one for Atlanta City. Atlanta, it only shows up in Atlanta, like AJC. It only shows up for Atlanta. And then you have classified ads, which is different from classifieds for free. And this one kind of works just like the US Net ads. And then, but what you can do is go into Google and just type free ad sites, and it pulls up all the different programs that you can have that are out there that you can advertise for free on. You just have to read the stipulations and to make sure that you can, it is actually free and what you can do on it and what your time constraints are. Because like US ad nets and classified ads, they are for a year. It's for, their total is a year. But then if you go to classifieds for free, it's 30 days. You have to apply, you have to go back in and renew every 30 days. AbleWise is 30 days. What's the other one? There's another one. It's only for like 6 or 8 months. I'm trying to remember which one that one is. It's not a whole year. And then, you have like your eBay, and then each one of these that you click on has another set of sites that you can go in and advertise with. But yeah, I find them all the time. Here's another one, for other free sites that you can, and you just go in and register and just
when you renew your ad, does that go to the top of the list again?
Yes, when you renew your ad. And it doesn't, if you go in and when you renew your ad, you can still see how many clicks you've had to your ad or how many times your ad's been viewed. It doesn't take it down to 0. But whenever you renew your ad, it just refreshes it in the programming.
I have people looking at my ads, but no one's coming to my site.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's just a numbers thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a numbers thing. That's why I say that's why Rory always stresses, you want to have as many ads as you can, because you never know when you're going to trigger that click ratio. You cannot flood the market, but you want to flood the market. You want to attempt to flood the market. And that means not necessarily posting. That's why when I say when you do a template, you want to have at least 5 to 10 headlines and have at least 2 to 3 paragraphs of description for the same content. Because then that way you can see which one works better with what content. You can always go in, like I said, every day you need to be advertising your website and advertising something. So that's why you have those different headlines. So you go in one day and you have one headline with one description, and you do it everywhere you can find it throughout all your websites, throughout all your trafficking sites. And then the next day you come in, you change the title, you change the description, and you just intermingle them and use the same thing, and then have your templates, like I said, my template's almost 27 pages long. And I've actually started a new one, actually 3 new ones. So, and it's always adding things. It used to be kind of organized. Now it's not, because I just keep adding stuff. And once you go in and get, a couple of different paragraphs, get you a headline, then you can come in and intermingle your different headlines, intermingle your paragraphs. Like I have all these different ones for Volantis, and for my wine. So I can come back in and say, maybe I want to put this paragraph with this paragraph down here, and have a whole different ad. So that's why a template is very important when you're advertising. So you're not sitting in front of your ad site trying to figure out what you want to write. You already have it, and then all you're doing is just basically modifying your own ads to look at it and see how you want to write it. You want to make sure that when you're creating an ad that it is catchy. If you yourself will not read your own ad or it's not appealing to you, then it's not going to be appealing to anybody else. So if it's after you click on your ad or you look at it and you're like, well, it's okay. If you have that attitude, then your ad's not going to get any hits. It's not going to get any clicks. You have to be excited about your own ad. If it's something that's going to draw you and you wrote it, then it will draw other people too. But if it's something you're just okay with, you're like, yeah, it'll pass, then it won't pass. I promise you. If you don't feel good about your ad, it'll stink up the joint when you get ready to post it. So you always want to make sure that your ad's catchy, that it's appealing, and always include a photo, an image. You know, if you have to create your own meme or whatever, you always want to include at least one photo because that will catch the eye for them to read your actual article. Okay.
So that's another thing about. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I have a couple of questions too while we're on the subject of advertising and link posting. Regarding Canada pre-launch, and a quick question about Germany. It's just a status question on Germany.
Okay.
Of course, we began the pre-launch yesterday for Canada.
Right.
So I began posting for the Canada pre-launch. And so I have a question because I think I understand correctly. It's a direct seller's kind of question about territory. I don't think we need to put in our disclaimer at the bottom, our note, anything at all, like not shipping. I think it's Quebec or there's a territory. I'm a little not clear.
Yeah, you can, on your disclaimer, you do need to put a disclaimer in that there are certain territories that we cannot ship to currently. You don't need to specify exactly which territories, because when they go into order or do their pre-launch and they get their ticket, they'll tell them exactly which territories they can't do. Same thing with Germany. Germany is still in pre-launch. I've asked Kevin, and he says once they get Canada up and running, because they've been trying to get Canada for almost a year and a half, almost 2 years. So they finally got into Canada. I think he said Mexico was next. So once they get that, then they're going to go back and revisit Germany because they did run into some bumps in Germany that they could not, some hurdles they were trying to figure out how to get through. So they went to something that they knew that they could get into, which was the Canada and Mexico. And then they're going to revisit Germany. But they are still pre-launching. They're still letting people know that we are coming. We are definitely coming to Germany. It's just like he said, it'll probably be either towards the end of this year or first of next year before they actually be able to get back into Germany and get that up and running, which will be great for us because that's part of what Rory is talking about, getting us in the PAC rim. Once DC gets over there and gets established, then it'll be easier for us to move into there and get a stronghold in like we just did with Australia. So, but both of them are still in pre-launch. You can use your Germany page to actually get ideas on how to create your Canada page if you haven't. Rory will probably put one on his site, f116.com, that you can go in and copy and paste if you want to.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to open up the floor to any questions that you'll want to go over today. All right, I'm ready.
Okay, I'll go. Could you go over how to drive traffic to our websites if you're not Google AdSense approved? What things you have to do to make that happen?
Will do.
And then the other question I had was, does WordPress have a mechanism where you could put borders in?
No.
No. Okay.
No. The only thing that you could do with that is if you found like a border, a blank sheet as a page or image, and then expand it with the border and actually write inside it. But I'm still trying to figure out how to do that. I'm sure there is a way to do that. I just haven't figured it out.
You mean Google? Look for something with borders on Google, or? Well,
I know there's a way to do it. I just haven't figured it out. So Were you the one that did ask in Paul's webinar this morning? Somebody asked that in Paul's webinar.
Yes, and that's what made me ask it.
Yeah. So I am trying to figure that out. And as soon as I do, I will let you know. Because I let Paul know. Paul doesn't know that you can go into your classic block and link and change colors. So I sent him a PM this morning after he got finished his class and said, hey, they've changed it. You can go in a classic block and link and change colors with your link, and it stays now, whereas before it wouldn't stay. So, but only in classic block, not in classic form. Those are two totally different things. So if your pages come over in classic, then no, it's not going to link. But if you open up a classic block after you format it, then yes, they will stay. So,
and that's the one, if you're in classic block, you don't have to convert.
Yes, you don't have to convert to block because that is a block.
Okay,
so, yeah.
Thank you.
So, all right.
Sheila?
Uh-huh.
This is a really basic question. I'm glad everyone's brought it up because I did some coloring on my Canada page that I launched yesterday.
Uh-huh.
And the thing I wasn't able to do because I forgot what you taught us, so I couldn't find in my note, is the color that just text, like a couple of words in classic block, like you say, not classic form. Could you just show us really quickly when we go over our questions?
Yeah, how to do classic block.
Yeah.
Okay, I sure will.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Okay, ask a question about pictures.
Yes.
If you go to Google Images, it says, I thought I read a disclaimer saying you can't use it if you're going to use it for advertising. Is that true? I mean,
No, you cannot. You cannot use a Google image if it has a watermark on it. And you can't use a Google image if you're using it exclusively. Are you there?
Yeah, you broke up, but we're back.
Yeah. Yeah, if you are using their image as your advertising, saying that that's your image, you can't do that. But you can use it in your web page and link it to a product. But you can't say, this is my image,
Yeah. That's what that means?
Yes. You can't.
Okay.
You can't claim that image as yours. You can use it for advertising of your product, but you can't have in there that this is my image, but you can link it, you can use it. If it has a watermark or a logo stain on it or anything like that, you can't use it at all.
Yeah, I was confused by that. Thank you.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay. Anything else? Come on, we got 11 people on here. What do we need? Anything?
How do you go about getting, when you click on dashboard and go to your web page, it has Germany in the wine club, but it doesn't have, it doesn't have Canada.
No, you have to make your own Canada page. So either you can make your own Canada page and use Germany as a template and just put Canada where Germany is and use Canada key phrase or keywording, or you can go to 1f16.com and see if Rory has already included his Canada page.
Paul just did a good video last Thursday on that.
Yeah, Paul has one. If you go to, if you're in the Triple R Evolution chat, he actually posted it, I think either Thursday night or Friday morning.
Thursday night.
Yeah, he posted his Canada page. So you can go and copy Paul's page and put it in your site and modify it just like you would if it was Rory's.
Yeah, there's no way I could do that as fast. He did that in 45 minutes, and there's just no way I could do
that. And it's, that's what he did today. He was showing you how you could create a page or modify a page in less than an hour. But we've been doing this, it's like he was saying, we've been doing this for so long. It's second nature. And this is part of what I did when I was working in corporate America was I had to, write statements and papers and, things up at the last minute, so I'm kind of used to it, but someone that's not used to it, there's really not a time frame. You just want to make sure that when you're creating a page that it it's exactly what you want to say and how you want to say it, and that you link your product to it. Never write based on a product, but in this case we are. But if you know about Canada and know about places in Canada and how Canada works, then you can use your knowledge on creating a Canadian page and then link it with wine. So if you know wine and know Canada, then write your page based on what you know, then come back and put your link in it for them to be able to go in and get their information on Canada. And like he was saying, just take bits and pieces from a previous page and put in there like the important stuff, that it is a pre-enrollment that they're doing, and put the pre-enrollment in and the cities that they can go to. If you go into your DC back office, they have the cities where you can go in to get where they're going to be holding the pre-launch. So, put those cities in there. We're not going to put, I don't think they have the actual cost yet, but if they do, which I'm probably sure they're going to get it up and running soon, you can actually go in there and print the graph off and put that in your site. But just put the important stuff that's in there about the pre-launch, how it's going to work, and that they'll be able to get their wine delivered to their door. And then you're going to put your disclaimer, in certain territories, we are not available to deliver to your door at this point. We will keep you updated. That's your disclaimer. You don't have to go in and spell out which territories that they're in and anything like that. They'll find out when they go to order their wine. That doesn't mean they can't get it. They will just have to go outside their territory, just like Rory has to go outside of Utah to go pick up his wine. So they will just have to go outside the territory to get their wine and bring it back in.
Okay, one tie-in here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about how to get. Okay. In other words, I'm sitting on my web page. How do I get a page for Canada wine?
Okay, you have to create it. So what you'd have to do is go to pages and go to add new.
Add new.
Mm-hmm. And that will pull up a blank page. And then if you're going to copy the one from Rory's, then you would just copy, from Paul. Then you would just, go to the Triple R training site, pull up Paul's website, put his title in or your title in. Go ahead and have that put in there. Always put your title first before you paste anything. Because if you paste first and then come back and put your title, your slug down here will have a, when you see your slug right here, it will have a jumble of characters in there. It will assign it a computer name, basically an HTML code, because you didn't put your title first. So always put your title first and then paste whatever content you want to put in it and start modifying. Then if you want to change your title, then you can change your title, then come down and change your slug to match your title. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So do we have anything else?
Yes, Sheila, could you go over again the difference between SEO title, slugs, what's the other one?
Meta description.
Description.
Yep, and the other one, permalink.
Okay. Yeah, I was one of my other students wanted me to go, and all that is called the YOAST SEO. So I'm going to be explaining all that today.
Awesome. Thank you.
I do have that on my list. I have one of my students that was wanting more clarification on that. So we will definitely be going over that.
Good minds think alike.
Yeah, because it can be confusing. And like Paul was showing today on his class, first you write. Once you get to writing and get all your contents, then you come and look at your Yoast and see what you need to fix. And that just makes it easier. That's why I say write first. You can fix later.
But Sheila, I went to his, the one he had a long time ago. I'm sorry, it's Constance. He didn't have her. He talks about the slug but he never went over and he never went over to the right side of which I'm just forgetting what's over there. The alternative on the right.
Yeah. The alternative text and all that.
I typed up this class and okay, I'm going to shut up now, but it's so frustrating when one piece of the puzzle is missing and I just,
Yeah. We will, I'll show you, we'll go over all that today, I promise. It's all part of the Yoast. And I just want to see which page I want to, let's do my relationship. Okay. Do we have anything else we want to go over?
Yes. Could you please tell me why mine is still not saving?
It still isn't saving?
I couldn't even Skype you yesterday, Sheila. I've been on the phone with Apple, and we'll discuss it at another time.
Okay, I'm gonna have to get with you one day this week, then early this week, and see if we can't figure this out.
Because, like I said, remember I told you all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So we'll figure that out. I'll get with you.
Thank you.
And we'll see if we can get it worked out.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Do we have any more questions?
Excuse me?
Any more questions? Nope. Okay. All right. So we already got this one. We can't do borders yet. We went over the pictures. So we'll go over traffic and website after we go over Yoast SEO. Okay. So our big thing, so what I want everybody to do is just mute yourselves out, and then if you have a question, unmute yourself and ask your question. But then that way we can drop down on some of the noise, because I was listening to some of our past webinars, and there was a ton of background noise that I probably didn't hear, or just am so used to the way we handle our class that I wasn't paying attention to it. I blocked it out. So, yeah, if you could just mute yourself down at the bottom, just hit your little microphone and mute it. And then if you have a question, just give me a holler, unmute yourself, and we'll start from there. So when you have a page and you are writing, like I said, you want to create your title first, and you just keep writing. Just write your pages and make sure that you have everything that you want to say. Come back and put your pictures in and put your information that you want to put in there. Then what you do is when you get to the very bottom of your page, you will have this information here, and this is called your Yoast SEO. And this is something that we have from Google, and Google supplies this for us so that we can get indexed better. So let's see, we want to mute everybody. All right, so what this does is this allows us to go back, and it tells us exactly what we're missing. Okay, where did we go? What did my page do? Is my page updating? All right, give me a second. My page is doing something funny. I want to see this. All right, we'll go up here. There we go. All right, so it shows us our Yoast, and it shows us our key phrase. All right, so this is my key phrase, which I'm going to have to change it because of the indexing of one of my sponsor or one of my affiliates uses this same thing. There's no way I'm going to beat them out. I just haven't figured out what a good one is. I got to go and find a good one, but I'm going to leave it for right now because I'm still getting some traffic to my site on this. So, but you can write your keyword, your key phrase. Then once you get finished typing everything in here, you're going to come here and you're going to see your readability. And your SEO analysis. If this is anything other than green, then you're going to click on it, and it's going to tell you what's the matter, what's wrong with it. You're always going to have transition words that's going to come up. It says mine's at 29.6%. It's not enough. They usually want you to have about 30%. I'm not going to worry about a 0.4%. This is fine. Your flesh score is your readability, which means that you have good, easy reading. That means you have pictures that break up your wording. You have headlines that break up your paragraphs. Your paragraphs aren't too long. You have short, concise sentences. Just means that it's basically an easy read. Anybody can get on your page and read it. Your passive voice is usually going to be up here in an orange. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Consecutive sentences, they don't want more than 2 sentences to start with the same word. So sometimes you'll have consecutive sentences up here in orange. If you have a red, you can get away with a red 1. If you have 2 reds, this right here is going to be orange. They don't want anything in red if you can help it. You can get away with an orange. You just want to make sure this overall is green. Subheadings, which are your titles, like here, you're breaking up your paragraphs. So they want to make sure that you have subheadings appropriately about every 250 words, 2 to 250 words. They want you to have a subheading in it. Same thing with paragraphs. They don't want anything, a paragraph over 150 words. They don't want a section between subheadings to be more than 300 words. Sentence length, they want it to be, short, concise sentences. They don't want your sentences to be a ton of compound sentences, where you got and then you start another sentences. Or you got a lot of phrases together in a sentence. So they want your sentences to be really short and concise. Then your readability will be good. And then on your SEO, you want to look at that and let it be broken down. So here it's telling me that my key phrase, it needs to be in my subheadings, which I do have it in there. So I don't know why this is a problem, because it is in there. And this is the one I got to change. It says I'm linking it to another page, which one of my affiliates is using the same thing. Alternate images. This is the one that Paul was talking about. See, and this is telling me that I have too many pictures with too many of, basically it's telling me I got too many pictures. And what it does is when you click on your picture, and this one, since I did it in Classic Block, it's going to show right here. I have my link here. I have my alternative text. And my alternative text is the same as your focus keyword. So you always want to make sure that you have a alternative text and it is related to your focus keyword. That way it gets indexed on Google. When you do get indexed on Google, your pictures in your article or in your blog site also gets indexed based on what your alternative text is. If you don't have an alternative text, your picture will not be shown on Google Images. What that means is if they see your picture, they see this picture and they like it, and they want to see where it came from, if they double click or if you double click any page or any picture on Google Images, it takes you to the page it came from that they've associated with that key phrase. So if somebody clicks my image and it is related to my key phrase, it's going to bring them to my website with that article on it. If I do not have this key phrase, my picture will not show up on Google. It will only be in my website. So that's why you always want to make sure that you have your alternative text and that it is related to your key phrase. That doesn't mean that it has to be your key phrase. I could have put this, my wine romance, if I wanted to relate it to my wine. But then I probably would have got a flag saying that, my alternative text doesn't match my key phrase. But you can do that. So you want to make sure that your pictures are always linked to your website. See, alternative. And this is what it's going to look like if you're doing it in regular block, not Classic Block. You have, when you click on your image, you have your image settings. You're going to put your alternative text, which will always, like I said, it's going to be whatever your focus key phrase is. That's what you want it to be. And you don't worry about your size. You can always adjust your size with these little dots right here. So you don't have to worry about, your size dimensions if you don't want to. Your link settings, you always want to make sure all your images go to a link, which means one of your affiliate or one of your marketing sites that you're marketing. So you always want to make sure that that's in a custom URL. And this is where you put the link that you get from your affiliate, whether it be CJ, Classifieds for Free, ClickBank, Brunette, any of the other free affiliate sites you get out there, like with your computer. you know, or just depend on, you know, your Sephora, depending on what your article's about. That's where you want to get your link for it. And you always, always, always want to make sure that it opens in a new tab if it's an outside link. Now, if you're linking it to a page in your website, say like you're wanting to go to your wine page, don't tell it to open in another link or in another tab. You can leave that closed. Then that way they just go back to your page or back to a page in your system. Your system's still up. But you always want to make sure that if it's going to an outside link away from your website, that you have it open in a new tab. That way, once they get finished looking at it, they close it out. Your website is still up for them to continue either reading from where they stopped, or if they want to start shopping some more and look at some of your other things. So
Sheila? Did you just say you can't do this in Classic Block?
No, I said it looks different in Classic Block.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is how it looks in a regular block, and this is how it looks if you go to Classic.
Okay.
If you click on the edit pencil, this is how it looks in Classic.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's this is where it's going to be your new tab under Advanced Options. You click on this, and this is where it opens in a new tab. So Classic Block, it looks a little different. You have to hit your edit pencil. And then in just a regular block, it shows up on the right-hand side in a text block. And that's where you will do all your information from. So it's still the same information. It just shows up in a different place depending on what kind of block you use. Okay?
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So once you get your pictures done, and then, like it said, you always want to have an outbound link, you know, which is the one it's going out of your system. You always want to have an internal link, which is one going in your system. Sometimes you don't have a page that you want to go in your system because it doesn't relate. If that's the case, then you can either reword your content, or you just will have this being a red until you come back and have a link that you can put in it at a later time. Key phrase introduction, that means I've used all my key phrase. My key phrase length is good. My density means, you know, how many times did you use your key phrase in your paragraph or in your article. Your meta description, you know, you always want to have one of those. I'll explain that in a minute. And it tells me I've not used this key phrase. So it likes my key phrase as far as my the word that I picked. It just doesn't like the fact that my key phrase is being used by another company. So it's telling me that, hey, even though you got a good key phrase and it's going to index well, there's another company out there or somebody else has that same key phrase, and they're probably going to index better. But my system has never used that key phrase, so that's why it's giving me a good on there, because I've never used it in my system. But this one up here is telling me that somebody that I'm marketing for is using that key phrase. So that's why I'm going to have to change my key phrase. But for right now, I'm just going to leave it there. And it's telling me, you know, my SEO title width is good, which means that it shows good on Google, and that my key phrase slug is good, and it likes that. So now we're going to go to these two things that we're talking about. So I'm going to minimize this. And you see where it's telling you this. You don't need to do this. I've had several of my students upgrade to this. Trust me, you don't need it. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't help with anything other than just give you more information. So you don't need to go and buy this program. All right. So this is your snippet editor. And this is where you can see all the information that it's telling you need to fix. So if you come here, your SEO title, it doesn't show you the exact title, but you can see that it's in green. So this is your title. So if you ever look, pull up your snippet and it shows your title either being in red or in orange, that means it's either too short or it's too long. If it's in red, most of the time it's too short or too long. If it's in orange, then it will tell you in your SEO analysis, it'll tell you what's wrong with your title. Either you don't have your key phrase in it, or it's not long enough, or there's something in there it doesn't like. And you can come here and actually change. If you take all this out, you can write your title in. And it'll change it as you're writing right here. This is your preview, so you can see anything you're changing will show up right here as far as your titles goes. Here's your slug. Your slug is what will become your permalink. Most of the time, your slug and your title match. Now, there's sometimes that your title is really long and you don't want to have a long permalink. You can actually come in here and condense your slug to match what you want it to say. And just need to make sure that you break it down, you know, make sure you have your hyphens in between each word, not just the sentence. You want it between each word because that becomes your permalink. That's what you end up marketing, is that, not your title. But for the most part, when you write your title will be your slug. So whenever you come here, you will see whatever your title is will be here. Like I said, I didn't want mine to have all of this in there. I just wanted it to have relationships and sex, but I'll probably end up changing that when I change my focus keyword. This will probably change too. I just don't know, since I've already advertised it this way. We'll have to see how that goes. But anyway, so then when we come here, this is your meta description. And a lot of people's like, I have no idea what a meta description is. If you ever go and search on Google, we're just going to pull up a random Google site. And we're going to type in. All right, so we're going to type in Myrtle Beach. All right, your meta description is this snippet right here. That's a meta description. All right, so when you come to your website, you need to have a meta description, which is a brief summary of what your page or your article is about. You don't have to worry about punctuation on the end. Some people don't even put punctuation in the end of their sentences because that counts as a character. So it's totally up to you how you want it to sound. But this is your meta description. This is what gets people to read your article. This is also what helps get you traffic when your article is on Google or when your article is anywhere, is your meta description. This is what people read, because you see all these different things for for Myrtle Beach. It depends on which one I want to read. So I'm reading their little snippet. Is that what I want to do? I'm reading this. Is that what I want to do? So your little snippet right here is what is basically your advertising that's telling them, this is what's in my article. You want to come read my article over everybody else's. But it's very short. You see right here, I only have 3 short sentences and it's green. If I put one more period here, it turns red, which means it's not good. You always want it in green. Green, 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 green. Green is the key. So if that means I have to take a period out at the end, I'm taking my period out. It'll turn red. It'll turn green. It's fine. Punctuation is not really that relevant when you're doing your meta description, other than to make sure it looks neat and tidy. If I had to take out one of these punctuations, then I would have taken one of those out. But you want to make sure that you have it, like I said, it's interesting, but yet short, but it summarizes what your article is about. You always put this in. Some people put it in at the beginning and it helps them stay on track for what they want to write. I put mine in at the end because my writing changes as I write. I'll have one idea in my head, and by the time I'm finished with the article, I've gone a whole different route. So that doesn't mean you can't change it. You can always change your meta description before you publish it. After you publish it, it doesn't matter. This can come in and change. But I always write mine in at the last, when I'm finished with my article, because then it's fresh in my mind. I know what my article is about, and I can go ahead and do your meta description. And then once you get finished, you close it. And then here is your summary. And this is exactly how it shows up on Google. So when somebody is searching and use my keyword, relationships and sex and they pull up my page, or they pull up, it pulls up in here, then mine will show up just like it did here, relationships and sex. It'll have my whole title, just like this, have who it's by, and then it will have my meta description. And then they can click on my title and go straight to my page. All right, we don't need to worry about ad-related key phrases because we don't want them to be searching anything other than the one that we put in there.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Okay, about the meta description.
Yes.
So obviously we want to catch people's the reader's attention to come to our site to click.
Yep.
Is it okay to use maybe the first sentence or two of our first paragraph of our article and then add something catchy to that? It's catchy anyway, but to mix it up.
However you want to do it, you just want to make sure that it's green. And a lot of people do that. That way, when they come to the article, they can see, hey, that's the same thing that I was reading about. It just gives them a continuation of what they've already read. So that's totally up to you how you want to put it. You just need to make sure that something's there and it's relevant to what you wrote. You don't want to, I've had some students that come in and their meta description is totally in left field. It has nothing to do with their article. They just think it's catchy and they want people to come to their site. And then when they come and read, it's nothing about what they read. And then next thing you know, there's like, nobody's coming to my site. Word travels, people travel, they'll get on social media and say, hey, I went to this website. It says this, this, and this. And next thing you know, you're blacklisted and you don't even realize it. So you always want to make sure that whatever you put in that meta description is exactly about what you're talking about in your page. Okay.
Okay, great. Yep.
Yep. You don't want to be blacklisted and not know it. Just, even though it's fun and catchy, then that's something you do when you're advertising your whole site. And you can just go on there, put your whole site in there when you're creating your thank you page or whatever. Then you can put something fun and offbeat because then it summarizes your whole website, not just the page. But when you're marketing an individual page like we have the ability to do, then you want to make sure that your meta description matches the page that you're advertising for.
Great, thanks.
Okay, you're welcome.
I have a couple of questions. So what we're looking at right now, where it says relationships and sex, one and the same, is that your SEO title?
Yes, that's my title. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So if you look up here, once we get up here, see, that's my title. Yep.
Okay.
And that's how, and what you're seeing when you see your SEO in your Yoast and it shows you this snippet preview, that's exactly what it is. It's telling you this is how it shows up when people search you and it pulls up in a search, if they're searching for key phrases or keyword and yours shows up, this is how it shows up. It shows up with the title, which is exactly my title. It shows up with your snippet, which is your brief description. And depending on Google or how they have the page set up, your link will show up at the top or at the bottom. If you look at Google here, it shows right up underneath the title. So once it posts, people search and pull that up, then this right here, which is my link, is going to show up right here under my title. But it's telling me this is my link that I want people to go to. This is the title they're going to be reading, and this is my snippet that they can read to see how much it is. So basically, this is my ad.
Well, when you say that top part is your link, is that your permalink or?
Yeah, that's my permalink, which is based off your slug. Your slug is your permalink because I didn't want all of this in there. So I changed my slug, and basically when I did that, I changed my permalink.
And you have to make sure they're the same, correct? Or it'll mess up.
Yeah, you have to make sure that it's related to your article. Now, if I'd have just put in here and put something that had nothing to do with sex and relationships, then that would be like a false advertising. I would probably got kicked off of Google. So you don't want to do that. But because this is in my title, then I can use that. So all I did was took this part off of my permalink and left just this. Because my permalink was so long. because your permalink is always based on your title. And I didn't want that long of a permalink. I would have had to go and create a tiny URL just for advertising because it was so long, and I didn't want to do that. But I like the title. So just because you have a long title does not mean you can't adjust your permalink. Okay? I know that sounds confusing. If you're not comfortable changing this, don't. Leave it whatever it is. And that's what I tell all my students. If you're not comfortable playing with your slug, leave it to whatever your title is until you get more confident in building your web pages. And if you ever want to know what your permalink is, when you're pulling it up, you remember we talked about last week about documents and block. When you're in your SEO, it's always going to be in your document setting. So if you look over here at your document, it tells you your permalink, and you click on that, and it says this is your URL, which is your slug, and then this is what my permalink will be, which you just add the HTTP, my website, and then my page, which is my slug.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need more perfectness, or just
Yes.
You just need things pointed. I mean, and what it is that's why video is so important, because, you know, I was talking to one of my students earlier this week, and I was just telling them there's been times when I first started that, especially watching Rory make a page, and he was just going blah, 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 you know, and I'd catch bits and pieces of it and be like, what did I miss? He did something else here. And I'd go pull up that video and rewind it and look at it again and see what exactly I missed. I told my husband if we had these on VHS, I'd have probably burn up how many players rewinding and playing back, different things. So yeah, sometimes it can be tedious going back looking and see what you're missing, but it's there. It's just that we have been doing, and like I said, I did this beforehand. A lot of people said, how do you get this? I did this before I even got into PBS, before I even started working on the web. This was part of my job.
That's not fair.
The only difference is that I was doing it for HR, and creating job descriptions and posting job ads and things like that. So I had a little bit of background, dealing with different things. So I had to learn this stuff. I already knew it. It's just now I'm just using a different avenue for that, which is wonderful. It's good to be able to use past knowledge to do something new. You'd be surprised what you can and can't do. And that's why I say we've all have experiences in our life. We've all done things. Put it on paper. You'll be surprised what kind of advertising you can get through those. Don't worry about, God, I don't have anything to advertise this with. Google loves to see just basic blogging information, just blogging page, interest pages. Once you get them out there, I promise you will come across an affiliate somewhere in all the stuff that you have. You'll be like, oh, I just wrote a page. This will go good with. I told my husband, we were sitting in here, I think it was Wednesday night. I was going through my emails, and it said that I had something in my CJ account that I need to get approval for. And I went and looked, and there's a dental plan. I haven't even applied for a dental plan, any of the dental companies, but there was 1-800-DENTIST in there. I was like, okay, I'll take it. And my husband's laughing at me. He says, don't they know you're terrified of dentists? I was like, hey, I ain't going.
You're sending other people to them.
Exactly. That's what I told him. I said, I'm not going. That's why whenever I do go to the dentist, he has to go with me, because I have to take a pill before I go that kind of makes me loopy. And then he puts me in a wheelchair and puts me in there, and then they give me laughing gas that knocks me out. Then I never know what's happened. I don't hear the drill. I don't see that needle coming, nothing.
Oh, too funny.
I'm a baby when it comes to the dentist. So, but now let me get nurse. When I was nursing, I shoot anybody up. Hey, you need a shot? Where? Not me. I can't do it. But it just happens when you start, getting a reputation and people see that you're advertising for all these other companies, then they want to jump on it. There's like, oh, she's moved up in Google. I see her ads out there. I've seen the numbers on ClickBank, or on CJ. See the click ratios going up. They see that I'm getting, 1,200, 1,800, 25,000, 2,500, hits in any given day. And they're like, okay, she's got people coming in. I want to get on that. So then next thing you know, you're getting your emails full of these vendors that coming in. Hey, you've been approved. And you don't even know what it's for. That doesn't mean you have to accept it. But then again, like I said before, you don't want to deny it. Just keep it in your queue, and you never know when you might need it. It's there if you need it. But don't ever deny any affiliate for the simple fact you can, get a reputation. Hey, they keep denying, ClickBank, CJ will come up and say you've been denying all these affiliates, so we'll probably get rid of you. You don't want that to happen. Just accept it. If somebody wants you to advertise for them, that doesn't mean you have to advertise for them. But you don't want to deny affiliates unless it's something that you really are adamant about not wanting to do. That's the only exception that I have. If it's just something that you don't even want to associate with, then yeah. But don't make a habit out of denying stuff.
Sheila,
yes.
See where it says revisions?
Mm-hmm.
I pulled. Well, did you tell us what that is once? Because I just clicked on, mine goes into hieroglyphics.
Yes, this is code. Yeah, you don't have to click it. It's just code. That tells you how many times you've been in this page and changed something or just opened this page.
Is that important to know?
No, that's just letting you know how many times you've come in here. Because some people, like I'll come in a page and I just want to look at it to make sure there's nothing in here that I need to change. Or if I come in here and add a block or change a picture out, that's considered a revision. Even though you didn't do much, they're just letting you know that you've been in this page 20 times. That's all it's telling you.
Is it like a bad thing if you get up to like 30 times?
No. I got one page, I think I've got over 100 times I've went in and changed it.
Oh, shoot.
And only reason being is because I have multiple affiliates in there, and either one's quit marketing and I had to go in and change a link, or I went back and looked at it. It might have been one that I first did at the very beginning, and I went back and I can write it better now, and put different affiliates in it. So that's just telling you that you are working your system. That's all that means, is that it's just letting you know how many times you've been in this page, that either you just came in, looked at it, updated it, or you actually came in and changed something. And you want to go back into your pages. You don't want to have a page that's only been visited 1 or 2 times. That means you're not doing anything with it. You want to change out your links. You want to come in and revamp your pages every once in a while. Make it fresh, add a few extra paragraphs, especially if you get new affiliates, or if you find a picture that you like better. Change out your pictures every once in a while just to make your pages fresher, especially if you've been doing it for a while, or whenever like WordPress came in and changed. We went from classic to the block system. So that changed some things that we had to go back in and modify pages for. And I still have pages that are still in classic form, that I have to go back in and remodify, but I just don't want to because I like the way that it is. I don't need to change anything in it. But if I ever get some links that I need to put in there, then I'll have to go in and redo it. So that's just, like I said, just letting you know how many times you've been into a particular page. The other thing, we talked about this a little bit last week, was your feature image. You want to make sure that you have a feature image. And the reason being is because when you post to the social media, your link for your page that you're advertising for, if you don't have a feature image, then whatever platform you're on, they will go through your website or through your page, and they will pull up an image that fits their criteria. Like on Facebook, you need to have at least a 25 by 25 picture, or it's going to go through your page and find a picture that fits that parameter, and that's what it's going to use as your feature picture, unless you put one on there. And Instagram, it needs to at least be, I think it's 960 or 1040. It needs a picture at least that size for Instagram. So you want to make sure that you have a featured image. If you're going to put it on Facebook, and it'll tell you whenever you go to put an image here and you click on it, it'll give you a little reading down here, and it'll tell you this image does not fit, blah, 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 and it'll give you some dimensions. Then if that's the case, then you either want to go in and resize your picture or find a picture that fits that criteria in your media and use it that matches your article. Like I said, when I use my Canva, which I love, I create pictures in mine for advertising. So I always want to make sure I'm using a Facebook when I'm in my Canva, that I'm using it to post to a Facebook, or I'm using it to post to Instagram. I don't use the business cards or anything like that when I'm creating images, for the simple fact they're too small. So if you're using a Facebook post or Instagram post to create your images on Canva, if that's what you're using, then you're always going to be okay. When you're going to Google and you're pulling up images, always look at the size of the image, because it'll show you right here what the image size is, 800 by 515. If it's smaller than that, like this is a good one, anything smaller than that, then it won't, like this one would be too big. You know, this one would be all right. So you want to make sure that your images are the appropriate size. Okay. And when you save them, you want to make sure that they save as the correct size, because sometimes, depending on what program you're using, they will shrink your image. So you always want to make sure you save as, and then save it exactly the way. Like, see, this one's 255 by 255. Even though it looks like it's going to be pretty big, this one's same thing. So always look at the size of your image before you download it, to make sure that it will, like this one would be too small if you wanted to use it for advertising. So always look at your images to make sure that they are appropriately sized, so that if you do happen to use it in, like this one would be too small, that 150 would kick it out. It has to be at least 250 or 225 by 225. This 150 will make it too small. That doesn't mean you can't use it in your website. You just can't use it for advertising. Okay?
Sheila, now that you bring up featured image, I'm looking at mine and it says set feature image. So that means I have got to go and find or make up a.
Yeah. If it says, if you see, mine already have a feature image. If you don't have one, it'll say set feature image. And if you click on it, it's going to take you to your media library.
Oh, all right.
And you can either go to your media library, or you can say, I don't want to use my media library. I want to go upload a picture because I got a picture in my file folder. I want to use it instead.
But does it have to relate to what it is I'm writing?
Yes, it has to relate, or it's better if it relates.
How about if it's a picture that I have used in there?
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah. It can be a picture in your article.
Okay.
And that's the reason I say that, is because when you advertise to social media and you just put your link in, they're going to put whatever picture fits their parameters. So if you don't have a featured image set and say, you know, all your pictures look halfway decent, but only this one here is the one that fits their parameters, they're going to put this picture up there. And I'll be like, that ain't the picture I want to represent my page. Right. You know, it's in my page, but that's not what I want to represent my page. So that's why you know, even though you will have some good pictures in there, if it doesn't fit the parameters, it's going to find the first picture that fits it.
And I know you told us, but the parameters we can find on each picture?
Yes, when you go to each picture right here.
Oh, but what if we don't get them out of Google? I get a lot of mine, number one, out of Pinterest.
Okay, when you go to your
media thing?
Yeah, when you go to your media, when you go to your library.
I'm there.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me update this because I don't know if I changed anything, but I was in it. So now I got 22 revisions. So
If I click on it, it comes up in edit.
Yeah. So when you go into your library and you
dimensions.
choose a picture, it shows you your dimensions.
Okay, sweetie. Thank you.
Yep. And then you can, just go through there. Yeah, there's my beautiful daughter. So you can just click on there and you see that it shows your dimensions. If you use it, you see right here where you can edit it if you want to edit. Here's also if you wanted to put a caption with this picture. Put a little saying, you can put that in there, but you just got to remember that it will stay with that picture no matter where you use it again. That same caption will be there. And same thing with the description. So you can actually play with it. You can put sayings on the picture from right here.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wondering what that
does. Yeah, you can do a lot in media. Like when I was advertising my clothing line, some of my clothes, I went in there because I kept getting people back on my Instagram, on my social media. What size is this? How much is it? So I went in and edited my pictures and actually put on their caption, size XL, price $8, so that now when they went and looked at the picture, it's all right there, so it's on the picture for them, so they wasn't keep sending me messages back wanting, how much stuff is. So, if you have something like that, same thing with here, see how this picture's rotated? You can actually click on there and go into your edit image, and it pulls up your image detail, and then you can rotate your picture.
Yeah, right.
And then it'll save it. Same thing. See, here's my dimensions. If I wanted to change the dimensions of the picture, I can actually, scale it down, make it bigger, however I want to do that. And then you just save it, and then it saves it correctly. So now when I go in to look at my pictures is correct. And it, everything's fine. This is my cousin's wedding. She had it at the beach last year.
You look happy.
I was. It was fun. This is before Valentis.
Pretty dresses.
Yeah,
they were comfortable. We were at the beach. We had to have something comfortable, but it was beautiful.
Nice color too.
Thank you. Pre-Valentis.
Look like a little flower bud. You do upside down.
So yeah. But this is my high school picture.
Look at you.
Get out. I'm going to put one of my pictures when I used to model.
Oh, I saw yours, Miss. I saw yours, Miss Constance. That's I want that. I'm jealous.
Oh, come on, look at that. Oh.
But yeah, there's several different things that you can do with that featured image that you want to try to, make your page more unique, make it better for advertising. It also helps, different things. This is my ad, Google AdSense, that pulls up. And just people can click on it. You don't ever want to click on your own Google AdSense. I know sometimes, especially if you're searching for things and Google catches onto it, they'll advertise on your site anything that you've been searching for previously a whole lot. Don't click on your own Google ads because they will take it from you. Because you get a percentage, you get money every time somebody clicks your ad. Either if they click this X to get it off the site, or they click the open, you get money for that. So don't ever click your own Google ads because they can track where it was clicked. And you don't want to do that. So, did I cover the SEO? Okay. Do we have any?
It helped cover some loopholes there.
Okay.
That I was missing.
All right. Do we have anything else that we need to cover?
I have one question when it comes to CJ affiliates. I signed up for it and it says I have to wait to be approved. Does it send me an email or do I go back in and find somewhere on their site to show that I'm approved?
You should. Everybody gets confused on that where it says you're approved. As long as you went into your CJ and you did your you filled out your account information. You did your, when you go in, let's see. When you go in up at the very top on your dashboard, it'll have a little red thing that says you need to go in and fill out your profile. If you filled out your profile, you should be able to go in and you're good to go. So there should be, I don't know why I did that, but you should be able to go in to your CJ. If it comes up here beside your name, it'll say fill out your profile. If you filled out your profile, then you can go in and start applying for your information.
Okay, so yes, I did my profile.
Yeah, so all you need to do is go to your CJ. When you're in your CJ, I sent out a list, most of instructors have it, of different companies that you should be able to get approved for immediately. You should just go to your advertisers and just go through that list. If they don't have it, let me know. I can send it to you. And depending on how well you wrote your profile and your descriptions in there determines how fast you get approved for some of these companies. If you want to, you can just start, by just hitting join program. There's not too many on here I haven't been approved for. I need this one though. So you're just going to hit join, just do like I just did. Some of them will say that you have to wait. So this provides manually. You'll get some, I don't do these. I'll do that one. And it'll tell you that it does manually. And once they do manually, you will either get an email from them. Some of them you don't. You will get it actually in your email up here. You see where it's got an email. They will tell you whether you've been rejected or denied and how you can get in touch with the company. If you haven't been, I can tell you there's been companies I still get denied for. Don't know why. If I'd get denied, it's like, okay, oh, well, keep going. I got plenty. This one's motorcycles. I got approved for that one. I still haven't used it. That's what I said. There's just a bunch of stuff in here that you can, like this one keeps denying me. I don't know why. Oh, this one says manual. Ooh, might change this time. But just different things that you can come in here. You just click you join program. And, most of them will tell you that it does. You have to watch. This is the other thing you need to look forward to or look at is this right here. This tells you how you get paid. So if you see this as anything other than USD, just remember when they pay you for compensation, you're going to have to pay a fee to have it converted, a conversion fee from whatever their money is to US dollars.
Okay.
So always look and make sure that they pay in USD. If they pay in anything other than that, just remember when you get paid from them in your commissions, you have to pay a conversion from whatever their dollar amount is or their currency is to your currency. So that's one of the things you need to, to look at. That doesn't mean you can't advertise. That just means it's a different market that you can advertise in. But just remember that if it's not a US dollar amount, that you will have to pay a conversion when you do get that money. Same thing with this one. This is a European company. It's actually a shopping mall type store. Just something different, but it pays in euros. So if, I'll have to get that. So it's just, different things that you can do. Let's see if I can get that one. See now, see this one? This is something you can look at too. This is a brand new company. It's so new, they don't even have any graphics that they can give you. So that's a good company for you to try to join. Probably has some good keywords that you can look at. Yes. Okay, the other thing you can do is look at is when you pull up a company, like this is a company I've been approved for. And, Paul's always talking about how you can do keyword searches and things like that. A lot of these places here will have, when you pull up the company, it will have keywords. Like this one, searchable area is only the United States and Canada. And a lot of times these companies will actually give you access to keywords. And it will have it down here, it'll say keywords that you can use for their company. So always when you're going into, oh, they got some new ones. When you're going into these companies, look and see what their keyword searches are, or keywords that they're giving you access to use. Let's see if I can find one to show you. Because keywords are very important. It helps you to index better. If you don't have a good keyword search, yes. Yeah, soft and, yeah. Oh, sure, Bruce. I'm going to get you. But if you click on the affiliate, and it tells you right here, you see it says keywords. It tells you good keywords that it allows you to use for their company. If you don't have a good way to do keywords, and all you do is just click on it, and it shows you the keywords. And that helps a lot of times when you're going to write your pages. Like this one, it tells you that you can use, the weight supplement, dietary nutrition, different keywords that you can use for this company that they have proven out that gets indexed well. So that helps you out too with finding keywords. That doesn't mean you can't go out on your own and get keywords. See, like this one, this is a health food company. It's all vegan company, and I get so many hits off of this. But it took me almost 9 months to get approval for it. But it's a good company. There's a lot of vegan people out there that are looking for this type of stuff. But here's, it gives you the different terminologies that you can use for their company. And advertise in their particular pages. So, use that. Use what's available to you on these companies. Some of them don't. Like this one just says use ink and toner. I can tell you right now, if you use ink and toner, you're going to be out there with probably 1,000 other different people using ink and toner. So, you just have to use your discretion.
Hello.
Yeah, I lost you again. I'm still here. You there?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I don't know. Me and my husband's talking. We got to find us another internet company provider. Time Warner's we've about had it with them. I was on with the student the other day, and I believe we dropped a call 20 times in an hour.
Oh no.
Yeah. I could, and it happens every day between 4 and 7. And on the weekends, it's even worse. And I don't know if it's because there's just so many people getting on at that time that it's affecting us, but it shouldn't. From what we're paying for internet, it shouldn't. So, but that's how you do that. And, just use your CJ. If your instructor does not have that list that I have provided before, just get with me or get with them and say, hey, I need that CJ list from Sheila. For affiliates, and they all know what it is. They might even have it posted on the instructor board. I'm not sure. And I try to update it as often as possible whenever they come out with new stuff. But that, depending on how well you wrote your profile, how you have that filled out, most of those companies that's on that list, you should get either immediate approval for or approval within 24 hours that you can start marketing them. So,
okay.
All righty.
Yes.
All right, so we went over that. Anything else before we go over the classic block? We all good?
Yep.
All right, so let me pull up my page again. I probably need to add that to my menu too, so I don't have to keep looking for it. I'll do that after I change it. All right, So when you go to Classic, when I first got my system, our whole website was in Classic. It was called Classic. It was just called WordPress. I can't even remember what number it was. It was just WordPress. But they did some modifications. They updated, said this was going to make it better. So they went from that to what we now call block format. But because Classic was so user-friendly and it had so many different things that we could utilize, Rory being Rory, he let them know that, hey, we want that back. So they created a Classic block. We didn't have this at first. But they've created a Classic block. Now, the one thing that you have to realize is when you're using a Classic block, it is still in block format. So you don't have to convert it to block like you do with a page that comes in Classic. So if you ever are in your system, working in your system, and you open up a page and it says this at the top, and it's a brand new system, then you are still in Classic format. You're not in Classic block. You're in Classic format. So you have to convert it to block. I'm going to tell you before you do that, go ahead and do all your modifications in Classic form. Go ahead and change your colors out if you want to change your colors out. It will not allow you to link it in Classic format. However, in Classic block, you can. So here's how you're going to do Classic. It will pull up in Classic like this. And here's your toolbars. If you don't have all of this in here, which you should, Classic form, it didn't. You actually had to add this last row of commands. But this is how your Classic form pulls up. Everything is in this toolbar. So if you want to change it to a header, you just hit your drop down. And you start with header 2. You don't ever put a header 1 in your actual body of your article. You only use a header 2 or lower. Only thing that should be a header 1 is your title. And if you use a heading 1 in your format down here, it will tell you that you have a heading 1. Do you want to change it? So anything that you're writing in your body of your paragraph, you want to use a heading 2 or smaller. You still can use your bold and italics, so that'll be fine. And then, if you want to do bullet points, you can do that. You can do quotes, alignment. When you get ready to do a link, here's your link tab. So all you would have to do is just, let's see, we can do here, explore this subject. We're going to do explore this subject. And you're going to hit your link, and it's going to pull up this link tab. And I want to come here and copy this link. All right. And then I'm going to come back here. And I'm going to add this link here. Just going to paste it in there. There's my link. You're going to hit your little gear icon or your setting icon. And this will tell you to open it in a new tab. So you're going to click it here. This is telling me the text that I've chosen to link. And then I'm going to hit my update. And then if I want to change this into a color, since it's still highlighted, this little A right here with this drop down is your color text. So you're just going to click on that drop down, and then you can choose a color. All right, and then once it's colorized, then I want to bold it. You always want to bold any link that you set. That way it stands out. All righty. And then you click off of it, and then there's your link and your title. Same thing with, say, if you wanted to add a picture, we can add another picture. This one works different from block because in block, you actually have to create a block to add a picture. Classic block works really well because then you get to manipulate where you want your pictures to go. So I want to put a picture right here. So I'm going to put my cursor right where I want that picture to show up. Then I'm going to click on my add media icon. We're going to click on that. And it's going to pull up exactly what I want it to pull up. this is my media library. It always defaults to your media library. Well, I don't want to use my media library. I want to go here and I want to upload some files, and then I'm going to select my files, and it's going to take me to my media files that I have because that's where I've always been working.
Sheila, I don't know if it's true or not, but I know I'm a Mac, but I'm able to, like, where you open this and then you'll open a folder. I can just drag the image and drop it. It turns like blue.
Yeah,
I don't know if everybody can do that, but just.
Yeah, you probably can. I know Macs can. They can drag and drop in there, and you should be able to drag and drop too if you have your folder pulled up and just drag and drop it in there. Yeah, you can do either one. I just pull it up because I never know what I'm going to use. And I just want to go to my blogging pictures. I don't want to be in my logos. And I'm going to use all files. And I think I want to use some of my wine. So let's go. Let's try this one. I'm going to use this one. And that one. I'm going to get one more. That one. Okay. And then you can actually create a gallery. See over here where it says gallery, create a gallery. And then I chose these 3 pictures. So I'm going to say create a gallery. And then it gives me the image that I want. So the good thing about this is you can rearrange them. So if I wanted to put this one here and put this one first, then I can do that. But see, then I have 2 chocolates together. So let's do that. I like that better. So they're going from wine, dinner, blah. And then if I wanted to put here, I can say romance. And then I can do this, wine and chocolate. And then I got some captions there, and then I'm going to insert it into my gallery. And then I can come down here with my cursor and bam, there they are. There's my gallery that I've added here. And then if I wanted to go back and see my pictures, and then it's going to let me edit the picture. And if I wanted to link that picture, I don't know if it'll let me link it. I don't think it will. No, this one won't let you link it, which is fine. Let's see, because it's in Classic. That's why I said Classic's different. But you see how it boxed in my gallery? So it's kind of sectioned it off on its own.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go over here and hit my preview, and let's see what it looks like. So then we're going to look down here. Where did it go? Did I go too fast? didn't put it in there.
David?
Oh, I didn't update. Duh.
Oh, yes. Call my name. Update.
I have to update.
In this case, it doesn't allow me to update.
Yeah, we're gonna fix that. So now let's go to preview and see if it put it in there. I was like, where's my picture? And it should be in there now. Yeah. So see, there it is. And it's got my little captions up under there. And I will find a way to link that. Now, if I click this and changed it to a regular block, then I can go in and link it. But then my pictures will be distorted. They will no longer be in the gallery, which I don't want to do. So this is fine.
I think that's part of what I was doing wrong, Sheila. I think I was converting instead of leaving into, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. If you are creating a classic block, and like I said, how to do that is once you get to here, you see these little pluses, and you click on your plus. Because I use classic, it's out, it's here. If not, then just scroll down. You're going to go to your formatting, and there's your classic block.
Okay.
And because you are in block format, you do not have to convert this. It's already in block. So once you are creating, and that's the other thing, I've had some students call me or text me and said, hey, I'm creating a page and I've converted it to block and it looks weird. If you have a new system, you automatically are writing in the new block format. You have to tell it to go to classic. So if I create a new page, let me update, and I just come here and I was like, okay, I'm starting a new page. You have two options. You can come here and start a new page, or you can go up here and hit new. If you hit new, you want to make sure you're in page and not post. Remember, post always shows up on your front page or your home page, and it's in reverse chronological order, which means that whatever you wrote last shows up first. So always make sure you are creating a new page. And once you create a new page, it shows up in a blank format, but it's in block format. So it's already in block. So if you come here and just start writing and continue to write, the whole page will be in block format, and you will get your YOAST is going to be red, your SEO is going to be red, and it's going to tell you that you got to go back in and put your headers in. You got to go in and put, your images in. But you can just start writing, put your title in, and then start writing and just write anything you want to write. It'll continue. Then you can come back in and say, okay, I want to convert to block. If that's the case, then you're going to have to hit a block format, copy whatever you wanted to make into block, the classic, and put it in the classic block, and then get rid of the other one. It will not convert to any other block unless you tell it to. It's going to go straight into regular block format unless you go in there and specifically tell it which block format you want to use. So you don't have to convert anything if you're telling it to go to a specific block. You don't have to convert it to block because it's already in there.
Okay, great. Thank you for explaining that.
No problem. And the other thing, like I was saying before, if you come to a page that you didn't write, that's an original content that came with your system, and it says classic at the top, then that means it's in classic format, which is the original system that it was built in, and you have to convert that to block. But before you do that, go ahead and put your images where you want it to, or what I found is easier to do is go ahead and convert it to block. That way you can see where your images are showing up, because some of them, the images will distort. They'll go in between two different blocks. And if that's the case, then that's where you can go in and change it. You can actually open up a classic block and copy and paste your old stuff into the new classic block and work it. A classic format, you can color code anything you want to. You cannot link it. In a classic block, you can link. So you can go in and color code it and link it. Just remember, in classic, if you convert it, it's going to change it to blue. But you don't have to convert a classic block. So if you can highlight something and put a link in it and then color code it, then it will stay As long as you don't think or as long as you don't go back and say, okay, I'm going to convert this to block, then it's going to change it to blue. But if you're using a classic block, you do not have to convert it. You're already in block. So you'll be good to go. All right. So that's how you create. And like I said, it just depends on where you want. If you want to come over here to new pages, if you want to come up here to the plus sign and hit new, either one of them gets you the same result. And just, just write. The other thing, so does that cover the difference in how to use a classic block and a regular block?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Now you do have your text media block. If you want to use that, that's fine. It doesn't allow you to link the media part of it or your image. I would say the classic block is the better of the two. That way you can position your pictures where you want them. You can actually, and depending on the size of your picture determines how your wording wraps around your picture. And you can link it, do your colorizations and everything like that. So, just depends on how you want to make your pages. Everybody's page should be unique, and make it, exactly how you want it. Just remember, if you convert it to a regular block from classic, you cannot go back to classic. Classic format, classic block, unless it's still in the queue that it will allow you to convert to classic. So just be cautious of that, of when you do convert something, that it is what you want it to do. If you hit your arrow button up here to undo, sometimes it will go back to the original format that you took it out of. Sometimes it won't. So it just depends on what their function is, on what it allows you to undo and redo. So just be aware of that. Okay. So I think that covers that. And then the other thing was driving traffic. I think that was the last thing on our site. The only thing that can drive traffic to your site is, like I said, I do have my Google AdSense that shows up. Since I'm in preview, it's not going to show up there. But on your Google, when your Google AdSense, that's just one way that people can see. The other thing is your advertising. You want to make sure that you're advertising on your social media. You want to make sure that you're advertising on your Instagram. You want to make sure that you're using your free ad sites to advertise. The only way, even though your site is live, I had one of my students, he asked me this week, how can I get on Google? You are on Google. The minute you got your website, it was a live website. It is searchable on Google. The only thing is because it is an exact duplicate of Rory's website and you have to modify it, make it your own, change your links, change your pictures, just make it your system. Google has you indexed on the very back pages. You are not up in the front where people can find you. That's why your advertising is so important. If you're not advertising your website on a daily basis, you will remain on the back pages. So
how many should you do a day?
As many as you can. I can't give you a number. And the reason I say that is because I don't know what everybody's time constraints are. If you're working a full-time job or even a part-time job, your time's not your own. So I advertise in the morning, I advertise in the afternoon. When I say I do 2 hours a day of advertising, I do 2 hours a day of advertising, sometimes more. But see, I have that option because I'm home all day. Well, not all day, whenever I have to go get my grandkids, whatever. But I have that option, that I make my schedule. And I schedule it. When I do my schedule on Sundays, every night at Sunday night, I do my schedule for the week for my students. I always schedule my students first, who I have appointments with, who I need to follow up with. I do my V-marketing. I got that scheduled in there. I always try to do that within the same time frame every day. If I need to make phone calls, that's on my schedule. And then I schedule myself to do my advertising every day in my system. If you're not in your system every day, you will lose your interest in it. I don't care how bad you think you're like, oh, that'll never, it will. If you're not in it every day, either modifying pages, writing new pages, or writing your templates to advertise your page, you will forget it, you will lose interest in it, and you will quit. Don't do that. Be in your system every day. You need to be writing at least a page a day if you can. If not, at least 2 to 3 pages a day. If your system's not 100% modified, then you need to at least be in it every day, modifying a page, a paragraph, changing a link. You need to be in your system every day. I tell my students, if you can average an hour a day, either 30 minutes here, 10 minutes here, advertising your system, do it. You want to do that. And it's not just on one site. You know, you don't just go to classifieds for free and I did all 50 states and you're done in 10 minutes. No. You want to do your all 50 states, then you come back and you do all the cities in that states, and then you do all the countries that is available in that states. Those are going to, or in the, you know, available on that site. That might take you 30 minutes. Okay, you're done with that site. Then you go to your Facebook page, depending on what time of day it is. You can market your clothing. You can market, you know, your coffee. If it's in the late evening, you're going to market your wine. You're going to put a post about what you did that day. Always on Facebook, it's 2%. I mean, 2 personals and 1 advertising. That's it every day. You know, now you can do as many personals as you want, but you only want to do, you can do 1 advertising in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. I mean, 1 in the evening, but in between there, you better have some personal content, you know, that you're reaching out to a group that you're part of, or that you're, you know, talking, letting people know what your day was like. Instagram can be a little different. Instagram, you can post something out there every 20 to 30 minutes. I don't do it that often. I do Instagram about 3 times a day. And it's usually I'm Instagramming a video that I did with my grandson, or I'm doing an Instagram of what happened to me that day, or what's something that funny that I saw, you know, or I'm posting a meme that I created with one of my sites. I'm doing something, you know, and I'm going to my AbleWise and checking it out to see what sites are doing good, what's not, what I need to change. You know, just depending on that, my US net ads, I go in there and, you know, and I'm adding stuff all the day. If I'm getting a lot of hits, like South Africa, China, Asia, UK, and Australia right now are killing Bitcoin. So if you are mining Bitcoin, which everybody should be, unless you have a Mac, but even if you have a Mac, you still have a link that you can advertise. You need to be advertising in those 5 countries now, especially with Bitcoin. When was it? Wednesday night, Thursday night. Thursday night, Bitcoin hit $13.5 thousand. And it was there for about 25 minutes, and then it dropped down to 12.1. Do you know how much money I made in 25 minutes when it was at 13.5? So you need to be mining Bitcoin, or at least advertising. So you need to put as many out there, and it's picking up in the United States, but those 5 countries right now are hot for Bitcoin. So get your templates out there. You need to be mining Bitcoin. You need to be advertising your pages for Bitcoin, modifying it, adding new pages with the research. You know, it took me a couple months to do the research on Bitcoin to create my own page. But until then, I was doing, you know, had Rory's that I modified. But get out there, advertise your site. If you're not familiar with Instagram, or you have a brand new account, then just go out there and, you know, you can get with Rory's memes if you want to. There's a cost for that. But it helps you build up. If you already have a huge following, just keep on, you know, doing what you're doing, and just every once in a while put a plug, you know, throughout the day for your website or a page that you created, or put a picture out there with a meme that you've done. But you want to get your system out there. I promise you cannot overdo your advertising. The only place you can overdo it is on Facebook. They don't want you, like I said, they're the only ones that say, hey, you can't do too much. Don't just, unless you have a Facebook, a business page, which I do. And I promise you, it's not a business page. All I did was, when I went to my Facebook, I created 2 pages. I created my personal page. And then when I got finished, I created a page just to advertise in. So and that's all I do. So when you come, and a lot of people's like, well, how do you do that? If you have a Facebook page, you come to your home page, and right here it says Pages under Explore. You just click on Pages, and it gives you the option to add a new page. I already have a page out there. So here's mine. I just got a notification that says I haven't posted anything on here in a few days. So I need to go in there. But when you get there, it says here, do I want to create a new page? So if I wanted to create a new page, I could, and I do nothing but advertising on that page. You know, every once in a while, I'll talk about something, you know, that's going on. But for the most part, I advertise on that page. That's where I put all my memes. That's where I put everything that I want to talk about. I have it on that page. Let's see. So it says right here, you know, I have 136 people that is committed to looking at that page every day. I've been advertising on my Instagram. Look, there's our people. There's Kevin. Not Kevin. Shoot, he's going to kill me.
James, it's James.
There's James, Priscilla. I don't know her.
Deanna, that's Deanna Young.
Deanna Young, and then Rory. Yeah, James Cantrell. He's going to kill me. Don't tell him.
I won't tell him.
Estelle, we should go online immediately and email.
Now,
Hey,
he'll probably text me tonight and say, "Did you see my picture on Facebook?" And I'm gonna say on Facebook, I'm gonna say, "Yeah, I didn't know who you were."
And Estelle had to tell you.
Yeah, and that's her instructor.
Yeah, that's right.
If she didn't know him, we would both be in trouble.
I know it.
But my student Charlene is on here, and I'm hoping when she gets back, we're gonna be she's gonna be on either Tuesday or Wednesday night call. I can't wait.
Hey, did you see her picture this morning in the DC meeting?
Yeah.
Not her picture, but them in the background of Johnson.
She actually was she got to go see her son. That's my son and daughter.
Cute.
It's okay.
It was his birthday day before yesterday, so she put that up there. But yeah, her son is in the Naval Academy up there, and he got leave to come meet her at the airport when she got to the airport Thursday, and she got to spend the day with him, and she was so excited.
Nice.
So that's why I say when you win these trips, there's so much things that can happen, you know, and it just opens doors because, you know, like she said, she probably would have never got to go see her son right then, but because she won this trip, she got free vacation. He was right, you know, I think she said like a couple of hours away. So she had a half a day before anything even had to happen, you know, that she got to spend with her son that she hasn't seen, you know, for months because he's in the Naval Academy up there. So there's all kind of things, and now she's going to be able to be with, you know, Rory and all them. I can't wait to see what happens. And then when we go to Texas in a month, about 6 weeks, there's just I'm so excited. I don't know what to do. When I went to New Orleans, it was wonderful, and then I went to Napa. It was great. It's a whole different atmosphere. And when I say walk around with either a recorder or a notebook, because you never know who you're going to be around and who's going to tell you that one thing that you're going to need that's going to spark that that engine in you to keep going, or that one thing that's going to say, that's going to turn around your business. You're just going to be surrounded by a lot of success, a lot of people that has been where you are, or you're going to be the one that's going to touch somebody that is coming up and is experiencing something that you've already gone through. So it's a great learning experience. It's going to be fun. You'll come back changed. I promise you will. It's going to be fun. I can't wait. So if you get to go, please go. If you think you can't, you know, do whatever you can without breaking the law. I have put that disclaimer
An
in
officer.
That's no fun.
My instructor told me I had to get there.
I say without breaking the law, to try to get there. If nothing else, if you are in the area and if you can only get to Rory's Thursday night meeting, at least get to Rory's Thursday night meeting. You know, if you can't make it to DC, then you can't make it to the DC function. But if you can get there and get to Rory's, you know, at least get there, because he says stuff and teaches stuff that you won't be able to hear. And he doesn't record it. So it's a one and done thing. But yeah, it's going to be a blast. But yeah, as far as your advertising and getting traffic to your site, you are live. All of our systems are live from day one on Google. We just have to get people to see it. And the only way you're going to get people to see it is to advertise. Just like with any brick and mortar store, the only way people know that there's a new store is they advertise, either with paid advertising or with, you know, free advertising. And the way our system is, we don't want to pay for anything. We want free. So do all the free advertising. Last week I found three new ad sites that you can post on, and I put them in the Evolution group. And it's just another marketing tool that you can advertise to, and it went worldwide. So I'm always looking for new stuff, and when I find it, I'll post it. I'll let people know, hey, here's another free ad site. Here's another thing. eBay, you know, classifieds ads. What is it called? Craigslist is a great place that you can post stuff. You know, it's a free site. Do same thing. Do a little snippet and put it in there, because Craigslist is on the internet. You know, people can click on your link off of there. And they have categories you can put it in. You can put it in miscellaneous. You can put it in entertainment, depending on what you're advertising. So don't think that you're limited to just the sites that Roy has, even though there's a ton of them there. Find your own. You know, word of mouth still works really good. You know, if you go to, you know, like we were at Texas Roadhouse the other night for my son's birthday. We took him there for dinner, and they have a little fishbowl that says we support local businesses. Guess what I did? I dropped my business card in there. You know, so be on the lookout for things like that. Places that say, hey, you know, post your business card up here. Have a pen, or say, hey, you got a pen, or, you know, thumbtack or whatever, but always have something with your business card or logo on it. Stick it up on their bulletin board, you know, because people look at it when they're waiting in line to guess what? They're reading those boards and they're like, oh, there's something catchy. They'll write it down. Whatever it takes, do it. You know, if you're in a college town and you have stuff for college people, you know, or school supplies, you know, go to these places and say, hey, can I advertise for you, or advertise with you, or here's a great site that I have. Post up those flyers with, you know, on telephone poles, whatever you need to do that's got your link on it, so that people can pull it off and say, oh, here's a link I'm going to write down. You know, get your name out there. That's the only way you're going to move up in Google and get traffic to your site, is you have to let people know you're there. And the only way you can let them know you're there is advertise. Again, if you're not advertising your site every day, you're not going to get the traffic that you need to get what you want. Google looks at that traffic. Google looks at your modifications. If your pages are not at least 70 to 80% modified, you're going to get a scrapping content message, and you're going to be denied by Google. That doesn't mean you can't go back and fix it, but they want to make sure that your page is not an exact duplicate of somebody else's. You need to have 5 to 10 pages, original pages of your own, not something that you went and copied from Google from another article and put in yours. You can do that, but again, you got to modify it. When I say original content, they want something that only you wrote, that is 100% you. And, you know, get your own pictures, or find pictures that you can put on there, but it has to be original, and relevant. That's the other thing. They don't want just something, you know, how to cut grass, you know, and you write about how you cut your yard. That's not something relevant. But if you tell people, you know, like with me, my first article was the heel versus the flat, because I am a shoe aficionado. Trust me. I will buy a pair of shoes before I buy anything else. I won't have an outfit to go with it. I won't have an occasion to go with it. But if I like a pair of shoes, I'm going to have it. I want those shoes. When I say I have over 500 pair of shoes, I have over 500 pair of shoes. Have I worn them all? No, I still have shoes in boxes, and I'll go through and knock the dust off of it and see what they look like. Oh, I remember when I bought those, and put them right back in the box because I'll never wear them, but they're cute.
No, you should put them out like an artistic display.
I will.
Really.
When I
bet some of your shoes are so cool.
They are. I do.
Serious.
I got some that you know? I have shoes that I pull out just to look at and say, man, I wish I had an outfit to wear, but it's like, no, I don't want to mess them up.
Oh. Well, but that would be such a nice thing.
Yep, it does. I love shoes, and one of my articles was the difference between a flat shoe versus a shoe with the heel, and I got so many hits on that, and it's like, an occasion. I can't wear flats a lot of times because I have such a high instep, and flat shoes makes my back hurt, makes my leg hurts, and it's like a lot of people don't understand that. It's like I can put on a pair of heels and wear them all day and be just as comfortable. But if I put on a pair of tennis shoes, my back will be hurting by the end of the day. And they don't understand that. And I wrote about that, and I was like, okay, which looks better? And I said, here's a lady. She's on a nice outfit, and she's got on a pair of stiletto heels. And then here's the lady in the same outfit, and she's got a flat. Which one would you go for? The heels. But that's just one of my articles, and it's based on my personal experience. Now, I did pull some graphics, from doctor statistics about how heels, are not very good for your feet, how people can get ingrown toenails because they wear them too tight, blah, 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 and I put the pros and cons, but I made sure I documented where I got it from. And then I also wrote another article about, I think I did one on wine, about how I don't drink the wine, but I wrote it about taste preferences and how you can chill a white wine and you don't need to chill a red wine, and how but it was based on my experiences. And so that's how you get Google AdSense, is you put it on relevant material that about that comes straight from you. And you add your pictures to it. Make sure everything's modified, and advertise. Don't go and do all of this stuff and have never advertised your website. Google will be like, okay, they got a pretty good site, but there's no traffic coming to it. They'll deny you for lack of traffic. So make sure as you're creating these pages and as you're modifying your pages, you're advertising every page that you've finished. That way you got traffic. There's a lot of people say, well, I ain't got my site finished. You should have all your links changed over. That should be the first things you do. It should take you a day or weekend to modify your links. So get your links changed. That way when you're advertising a page and people start to shop around your site, you don't have to worry about if everything's finished. Your links are done. So if they start shopping and your page isn't modified, your links are still there so you can get your commissions. So don't worry about advertising, oh, my links aren't finished. Then that's on you. Get your links done. That way when you start advertising, your whole website is monetized for you. Then you can come back and start with your modifications of those pages. And as soon as you get finished those pages, advertise them. And you keep going that way. But the first thing you should do is change every link in your web page. It should be yours by the first 2 to 3 days you have your site. All your links should be changed. Number one. That way, when you go to advertise, you don't have to worry about somebody getting paid from Rory. Rory getting money off of your site, because all the links are yours. Then you get your modifications going. Then you do your advertising. Every time you finish a page, you advertise it. When you create a new page, don't wait till you finish your page to create a page. If you get an idea, start a new page and say, okay, I got this idea. Write your title down, do a rough draft, put it in draft, and then come back to it when you get more information, or you get another idea that you want to go with that. That's what your drafts is for. So then you can come back to your drafts and finish your original page. But your system is yours. You got to remember that. It's not going to be, 200 ads is not going to be enough. That ain't even a flash in the pan. 2,000 is not going to be enough. I can say 1 million's not going to be enough. You'll get traffic, you'll get some buys, but as fast as the market is growing, did you hear the other day on how many people are in Canada when they did the Canadian conference? They have almost twice as many people as we have in the United States. So, which is billions. And if we only got 100,000 ads out there, how many people are we missing that can't see it? And you're not even counting outside the continental United States. I mean, this is a worldwide business. There's companies, especially on CJ, that go worldwide. You want to be able to put your website in as many buckets and as many hands as you can get it. Especially when Roy gets ready to open up in the Pac Rim, you want to be able to say, okay, I already got customers over there. So now you just got a bigger market that you can, sell your PBS and do other things to. So advertise in every place that your affiliates allow you to do. If it's just United States, make sure it's only United States. If it's, you can do worldwide, like with Valentis, put it everywhere that it can be shipped to. With our wine, right now we're only in 5 countries, getting ready to be 6. You can only advertise there that they can be shipped to. Even in the United States, and I tell my students, when you're doing it in the United States, you should have a disclaimer, either at the bottom, at the top, certain states we cannot ship to, but you can still get wine. That way there's a disclaimer for those. I think there's 5 still, or 4 states in the United States we can't ship to, but that don't mean they can't get wine. They just have to go across the border of their state to get it to the neighboring state. So always put a disclaimer if you're going outside your country that you can't market to, but you want to get people coming to your site, that there's a disclaimer in that page that says they can't get what you're offering, if that's what you decide to do. But that's the only way you're going to get traffic to your site, is to advertise it. So that's about it for that one. Anything else? I think we covered everything.
Sheila, can I ask you just a question? Oh,
okay. Go ahead.
It's a quick question. Your Facebook, I'm still, not that sure. But what we're looking at now is, like, on the left-hand columns, they usually have, I'm looking here, I don't see it. They have like home, and then they have post. It doesn't seem to.
Oh, that will be.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
so mine's up here. And then I have, this one is for my personal.
Okay. It's still not quite.
Yeah. And it should show up here. And I think I've changed my, my setup, because it usually shows up over here, and it will eventually.
The question, I guess, the most, it's like, I get confused to exactly where do you start your story? Like, see how you put all these things. I mean, I know how to post, but I'm just not sure I've got the layout of the land correct.
Okay. There's different places, like if I wanted to go on my news feed, I go to my home. Okay. And home will go, and then I just go up here where it says create a post, and I'll just start typing, and you see the news feeds lit up.
Yeah.
Okay. So that means this is going to go on my news feed. So that means it's going to hit not only the people that I have invited onto my Facebook, but it can potentially be picked up by anybody that is interested in reading what I have to say. Okay.
Okay.
Now,
okay. Does that know where to send you, or have you created where to send you?
No, it already does it. When you set up Facebook, this is it. So if you are, now this is the home. Okay. Remember, this is your home site.
Yeah.
So this is where you're going to see this information. My news feed is lit up. So that's telling me whatever I create here, it's not only going to go to my, see, it says public. Okay. So that means anybody can read my news feed. what I put out there. And that's where you want to do your advertising, is on your news feed. All right. Now, if I come here to where it just says Sheila, this is my personal one. Okay. This only goes to my friends and family that I have personally invited to my website.
Okay. All right. I'm just looking. All right. Okay. For some reason, I can't find Pi. Oh, there she is. All right. See, I guess the layout, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
You're fine.
I'm trying to get on, and I'm just up there.
And then with your timeline, you can actually go in and view your timeline. You can write on your timeline. Your timeline is basically, that means you wrote something right then at that particular time that was relevant to what you wanted to say. And it lets everybody know in your group, hey, Sheila changed something on her timeline. Go read it. And it sends it to them. Says, hey, Sheila changed something on her timeline. Go read it. So that gets people immediate access. They get it on their Facebook communication. If they have it on Messenger or whatever, it'll give them on Messenger that I changed my timeline. Or if you updated your profile, it'll send them some information. But you have to do that on your individual page. You don't ever want to do that on your home page where it goes out to your news feed, because then you'll have people actually being able to come in. So your news feed is things that you want anybody to see that's in the public that has access to Facebook. Things that you want to stay within your friends group or your friend, which is like your personal stuff. You always want to make sure you put that under your profile, or your basically your profile image. And you're going to do the same thing. You're going to, create your post, write what it does, but this only goes to people that is in your group that you've approved to look at your site. On your home site, it goes to your news feeds.
Okay. All right. So okay.
Hey, Sheila.
Yes.
Just a quick question. I, of course, know nothing whatsoever about Facebook. And I saw that you had something up there about friends 518 or something like that.
Yep. That's people that I personally know or have become acquainted with that have friend requested me.
Oh, what does that mean?
And that means that they have access to come in and read or look at my photos on my Facebook page, but only those people that I have allowed to come in. So if you look over here, these are people that have requested to get access to my website. And this is how I determine whether or not I'm going to let them in. Like this one, I don't know. He doesn't know anybody in my group. So I would probably stay away from him. I don't know him.
You don't want another husband?
No. I finally got the one I got broke in.
I hate it when you girls talk like that.
Well, there's a story behind it. And somebody, right, Sheila, on Facebook wanted to marry you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I even had on there that I was married, even told him I was married. He said, do you want to stay married long? Really? Are you going to stay married long? I was like, well, 30 years has been a while, so I think I'm pretty set.
You might want a new model.
So, but when you get friend requests, that's the other thing, is people can come in and search Google. You see this search bar? And they can search Google by name, by profession, anything, and find you, because you're out there on Facebook as a profile. And they can send you a request. And I'm always leery that if they have less than 5 people that I know, I don't mess with them. Because, now if they come to my, because I have my page out here, my Shop with Mama Chief. Now, if they come to this one and want to friend request me, that's different. That means they came in off my website and they want to friend request me, but they have this link here. They don't have my personal link. They have this one, my Indian Pride one.
And there's no way they can jump from that to your
not
private.
Unless I give them access to.
Okay.
Yeah. So
518. If you threw in all my acquaintances and mortal enemies, I wouldn't have it.
Don't worry, I don't either.
You'd be surprised. Trust me, you would be surprised how many people you know on Facebook. This is just the people individually. Now I have groups that I am members of. So if I come here and look at all of my groups, these are the groups that groups I'm in, Women Helping Women, Promote Your Business. Everybody needs to go and join that one. You can promote twice a day your business. That's all it's for, is for business. Now this is Valentine Connection. It's the same thing. Here's an e-commerce entrepreneurship. You need to go to Facebook and look for these business groups that you can go in and promote your business. And it's amazing. This isn't counting all the people. Like here's one that's for social business. I promote social media there. Here's a networking business I'm part of, a group. And we all promote our companies out there, our networking affiliates. Senior softball, me and my husband play softball, so we go on there all the time. Here's my my school that I graduated from. So my graduating class actually created a Facebook page. So all of my class members are on there. Different things that you can see that are here. These are all groups that I am. Here's DC. Here's Computer. They give out great information. So you need to be, if you're in those, you need to be in there reading book. I read all the time. Vegan City, I promote that prana on here all the time. Tell people, hey, I got a new group or a new ad, new company, for organic and vegan material, have a look at it. So I'll just go into your Facebook and look in groups and see what groups are out there that you could potentially join and be a part of, and that will help you promote not only yourself, but also your business. Like this one right here is nothing but women entrepreneurs. And we don't do a lot of advertising of our business. We do it, I think it's every Tuesday where we have Advertise Your Business Day. But other than that, we just give each other comments, helping hands, advice, things like that they need. And these are from women all over the world, not just, in my area. On advice on how to grow your business, how to work your business, how to invest the money that they have. There's a bunch of women that go on there. There was one that come on there one day this week. She's like, I got $25,000 to invest in business. What do y'all suggest? So, girl, let me tell you. I was like, what are you interested in? PM me. We need to talk. But, things like that, you'd be surprised what you can find on Facebook, people looking for things. Or you going out there and you can find places, like this one is a good one. I promote in there every, at least once a day, either a page that I've done or a page that's in my system, or I put a meme that I created out there for a page or product. So, and it usually they have a facilitator over it. They all have rules and regulations, what you can and can't do. It has to be age appropriate. It has to be, within certain guidelines. Can't be anything too explicit or revealing, different things. But they'll give you approval. And once it's approved, then next thing you know, you're out on the web or on Facebook, throughout Facebook. So it's a great way to meet people, meet other business people, entrepreneurs, marketers, and get ideas and a way to promote your business. So it's a great tool, basically. But I also, like I said, I keep in touch with my family and friends through here. I let them up, this is my ad I posted. It came from Instagram. I put it on my Instagram and then just transferred it over onto my Facebook. Here's one my son posted. Funny.
Hey, I'll drink to that one.
So, and I responded to him. I said, most definitely. But, just things like that you can promote. And this is one I did. It says, how fake are you? And I posted it to people, and see, I'm a -1, so which I knew it says.
Awesome.
So don't ask me my opinion of you, because I'm going to tell you like I see it.
Sheila, you and I would have gotten along very well at work.
That's why I said I hope you're recovering from your surgery in time, because I really want to see you, Mr. Bruce.
Well, there's an update on that ain't too swift.
Oh, no. We'll have to talk about that this week then.
Yeah.
All right, then. But other than that, get out there and find, like-minded people on your Facebook, on your Instagrams, your social medias, LinkedIn. I haven't been working for almost 2 years, and I get an update every day from my LinkedIn. I've had at least one every day, people asking me to come work for them. And I'm like, I'm not working anymore, but great, or I've posted an article in LinkedIn, and they've commented on it, because I do have a profile, been with LinkedIn for 10 years, since they started. And build up a great business rapport with some people there. So when I post something, they read it. And, real estate people, great for the wine. I'm getting ready to promote, trying to come up with a good way to promote Sephora. Even though a lot of companies already have their own niches for travel, I'm trying to find a way to implement Sephora with them instead of going to the route that they're going. So that's some projects I got in mind for LinkedIn. But there's several different ways you can get out there and market your site. But always be looking for, things right handy close to you. But definitely you need to be marketing your site every day and working in your site every day as your time allows. When I say, I still get up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and I go to bed at 12, 1 o'clock at night, but I'm posting because that's when my grandkids is asleep, my husband's asleep, my kitchen's done. I'm usually got a load of laundry in. I got to wait for it to finish. So I'm posting ads while I'm doing that. My time's not idle. Or I'm writing a page, or I've had an idea that I want to get it on paper before I forget what it is. So whatever you have time-wise, use it to the best of your ability to market your system, because if you don't do it, nobody's going to.
Sheila, can I ask you, or maybe we'll save it for next time, but on Facebook, I don't see, you probably don't.
You there? Oh, I lost you. Where'd you go?
Oh,
yeah, there you go. I was like, where'd you go? I'm sitting here going,
do I start again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all I heard was Facebook.
Well, at least we got little notes. Did you hear the little notes? I figured that's her, that she can't get on or something. Anyway, okay. Because, PyWhack is new, I have little boxes that are I should say, in where you post, and it says, get more link clicks. And then there's also boost a post. And
no. Do not boost. Boost means you pay for it.
How do I get rid of it? It's always there.
It's part of their programming. It's going to pop up. It's part of their...
It's permanent. It's like it's just permanently there. I mean, like when I do posts, do people see that?
No, they don't see. That's only for you.
All right, so they won't see click and get more clicks and reach people nearby.
No. And it should have a little disclaimer. It says only you can see this.
Well, I don't see where it says that, but okay, thank you for at least, because it's so annoying. I mean,
it's going to show up anytime you put a new post out. Facebook will come in, and that's just part of their marketing, that they will put a post up or put a copy of your post, and they will say, get more clicks, boost this. Right. And there's a lot of people that will say, oh, good. They'll go in and they don't pay attention to the left-hand side where it has how much it's going to cost you per click, and how long you're going to run it. And then next thing you know, they're getting a charge on their credit card for, you know, a couple $100 because they didn't know they had to go in and cancel it after so many days. So yeah, you don't want to boost it unless, and this is the only time I tell people that you want to boost it. If you want to boost an ad and you're new to Facebook, then go in and tell them you want to boost it for 30 days for $1 a day. And you can set up those parameters. And what that does is, I don't know if you've ever noticed when you go to Facebook, sometimes they'll have ads in between other people's comments. When you're on your news feed, when you see these little ads that show up, like right here, We Work, okay? That's an ad sponsored by We Work. So if you boost an ad, and you won't see your own boost, that's the other thing, but other people, this would be yours. It would have your ad, and it would say whatever your link is, whatever your site is, would be here. And whatever, if you put a button on there, if you say shop now, which I always say shop now or join now, then they would click on that and it would take them to my page. So if you boost it, depending on what your parameters you set, this would show up on a news feed somewhere for people to see. So that's the only thing about a boost, is that it would show up. I was looking to see if there's some more like this one. Here's another one.
They just interrupt your site. So when people are looking to see what you're doing, they have to put up with this too?
No, people don't see that. You're the only one that sees that boost.
I'm so confused.
Yeah, you're the only one that sees it because you're on your site. When people come to visit or see your post, they don't see that boost information. Yeah, all they see is your original post. You're the only one that sees that boost or get more clicks. You're the only one that sees it. Yeah, nobody else sees it but you. I get them all the time, and it's always after. Yeah, it's always after you post a new ad or post a new post. Is they'll come up, especially if you get a lot of hits on it or get more than 2 or 3 hits really fast. They'll come up and say, okay, this is a really good post that she's got. Let's get her some more more clicks coming in. And then they'll send you that little boost message on your ad to get you to get more. You don't have to do it. You're already getting enough clicks. You're getting clicks, so that's a good thing.
But that whatever that bank was, if you go scroll down to it, that's what people see. They say, stop, back up there. Yeah. They see that.
Yeah, if you boost whatever you boost.
No. Don't. Okay, wait a minute. Let me try this. Okay. You didn't do anything. You didn't touch anything. You just went and did all your posting like you normally do and did it. All of a sudden, this whatever it is, We Work shows up, right? And all your people who look at your post see that We Work.
Yeah, but this is on the news feed. This is not on my site. This doesn't show up. Yeah. Okay. This is on the news feed. On my site, I don't have that. Yeah.
All right. So I don't even see where I have news feed. But okay, so maybe next week we can talk about Facebook.
Yeah. On your site, when you're on just your personal site, which is this, my home site, my profile site, the only thing that shows up there is what people send or what I send. On your news feed, you can see anything that anybody posts that is relevant to your look, there's Sean. You know, anything that people can see, it shows up on your news. See, like here's one for Tableau. You know, this is an ad basically, but it's on the news feed. See, news feed. It's not on my personal site.
Okay, I guess I don't see the left-hand column. But all right, yeah. When I go to home, I get exactly what you have. The picture, the left hand is people like you've got there, and then on the right, things I posted, things I wanted to share. I don't see any advertising. I don't see,
okay.
It's
but like but you don't have 2 pages. You only have 1.
No, I've got Pie Wacket on the other one.
Okay, well then we'll go through that. I'll have to set up some time for us to get together, and I'll show you how to go through this.
All right, thank you, dear.
You're welcome.
Sorry, everybody, if I.
You're good. And next week is the 4th of July weekend. So
you said you were going to be around.
I am going to be around, but I'll probably be at the ball field. So if y'all hear some yelling and screaming in the middle of it.
And swearing?
No, because we're going to be with a bunch of
no, it's Estelle.
6 and 7 years old. So there's none of that. So,
but Sheila, I have one more question,
okay.
And again, it might be something not for today, maybe next week. Is where do you go on eBay to advertise?
I do not use eBay, but I'm assuming it's just like you would do with their regular eBay quotes. There's probably a site that you could go in and put it just on there. I know Rory has it on his list of advertising is eBay, so I'm assuming they have something in there. My husband has an eBay account. I don't go in and use it, but I have heard other people say that they advertise on eBay. Okay. So you might have to go in and establish an account. It might be how you set up your profile, or there might be a tab on eBay that you can use that's just for that.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, do we have anything else, or are we good?
You're good.
All right.
Red Sox are losing. It's 14-6 Yankees.
Oh goodness.
Oh.
I can't say anything because my husband almost was drafted by the Yankees, but he went to the Tigers.
Wow. Well, you know, Red Sox and Yankees are rivals.
Yes, I do. I really do. So I used to be a Yankees fan. I'm not going to lie. I like the Yankees.
I'm from New York City.
I said I used to. Now it's more like players instead of teams. You know, that I like. You know, there's just certain players, like my grandson, he likes Bryce Harper, you know, and what is that other guy he likes?
Trout,
Mike Trout. We had to cut his hair like Mike Trout's this week. So, so when we went to the Atlanta Braves game the other week, and, you know, because Bryce Harper played for the team that Atlanta was playing against. Phillies, yes. And we were sitting, and every time, you know, Bryce Harper came up to bat, the whole stadium was booing. And I was trying to figure out, I was like, why are they booing him? He's a good player. And then I found out later that Atlanta had put in a bid for him to come play with them, but he said they weren't offering him enough money. So that's why he got booed by Atlanta. So then my grandson was like, he was yelling for Mike Trout, but then when the other, you know, Atlanta was hitting, he would still yell for Atlanta, but it was fun. But Bryce Harper, but it was fun. It was nice. He had a good time. So hold on a minute. They are in. Okay. Anyway, my son came home. He looked for his swimming trunks. Anyway, so, but, you know, it's just, I just like Altuve. He's my little man.
He is something else.
I told my grandson, he's always like, why do you like him, Mom? I said, because he's short and he don't let it stop him.
Right. And you know, the same for Pedroia on the Red Sox.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
So, all right.
And people told Pedroia he'd never make it. Well, he proved them wrong.